2 of the vlog, I guess, if that's what it is, but day 1 of actually cracking on with the refurbishment. So it's already quite late in the day, it's about 4:30 now. I think the mall's only open till about 8 o'clock. So I've spent most of the day running around getting the last little bits of everything that we need. So like furniture wise, I'd say we've got about 95% of what it is we need. Some of it's still in storage, still needs to be shipped to the shop, but we've got it, it's ready and waiting. So I've just been shopping today, getting tools and stuff to actually do the refurb, which is why I couldn't start last time, and things like glasses, jugs, mason jars, stuff like that for the cafe. Other than that, we're pretty much raring to go now. Just stock. We just need to be able to stock the shop up, the apothecary with various gadgets and items and stuff like that, and then food for the cafe, but that'll be sort of last thing on the agenda. We'll do that a couple of days before we open, I guess. So today I'm going to be dealing with the carpet. So the 2 big jobs in here are the walls and the carpet. So the walls are filled with holes from when it was I think, what was it, like a women's fashion store last time. So there was shelves everywhere, and so there's holes all over the walls from where they've taken the shelves down, and in some cases it looks like they haven't taken the shelves down so much as dragged them out of the walls. So there's plenty of holes there. The walls are a bit dirty, that all needs repainting. But before that, I'm going to have a crack at doing the carpet. In fact, let me show you the carpet. So I don't know, it doesn't actually look that bad on camera for some reason. It doesn't look great in person, but basically it's very old, it's very patchy, and I don't know if you can see there's these big bumps, and again, they don't look that bad on camera, but some of these bumps are big enough to trip over, and I don't want to have to be spending on our public liability insurance, preferably. So there's a few more over here. If they were a little bit smaller, I believe you could just inject a little bit of glue underneath and just sort of stamp it down, but there's loads of them and they're massive. And anyway, because it's a cafe, I don't think carpet's sort of optimal for that anyway. So you have to bear with me. I'm not used to this vlogging lark. I'm 38 years old. This is a young man's game. I'm learning as I go. So yeah, I'm going to drag this up today, and the problem with this carpet is it's been glued down. So when you pull it up, it's the carpet, it's got the carpet layer, and then it's got like a spongy rubber layer underneath it, and you pull the carpet up, the carpet comes up, but a lot of the rubber layer seems to be staying stuck to the floor. So I haven't just got to pull the carpets up, I've got to shave the floor as well, and I've got to do that manually. And I'm hoping that not too much of the carpet is going to be glued down like that, because that's going to be one hell of a job to do, because this room's something like 15.5 meters by 5 meters wide. So what I'm going to do today anyway, like I say, vlogging's not my thing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to stick this camera in the corner on time lapse, record the process, and I'm only going to sort of interrupt if anything narratively interesting happens. Otherwise it's just going to be a sort of start to finish time lapse of the process of changing the room. So let's crack on. Right, there we go. That's the flooring up. I told you I'm new to this vlogging business and all this camera nonsense, so I think I did the time lapse a bit too quick. It looks like I've recorded about 5 seconds worth of footage, which makes it look like it was a piece of piss, and it was not a piece of piss. Let me tell you, I've got a right sweat on, I'm knackered. Yeah, my knees are killing, getting too old for this. Tell you what folks, tip your carpet fitter, because this is a rough job, I guess, especially if you're doing it every day. Yeah, one bit of good news was, you remember I said I thought the carpet was glued down, all of it was glued down, and that was just a bit of, I don't know, a bit of bad luck on my part. So the way I checked the carpet was, it was like three sets of carpet, so, sorry, 4 pieces of carpet, so 3 joins. And so the easiest place for me to sort of pick up the carpet to see what was going on underneath was to have a go at the joins. And so luckily the glue is only along the joins, and it came up a lot easier than I thought. But the bit of bad luck was, where I checked over in this corner here, was the only bit of the entire carpet that had a big thick splodge of glue under it, like a huge puddle of glue in the corner. And so whereas everywhere else the glue strip is maybe 2 inches across, this big blob over here that I just happened to check. I don't know, it was maybe 1.5 foot square or something like that. And so that's what made me think the entire carpet was glued down, and it's not, and it's a huge relief because it all came up nice and easy. And so it just needs, I'm just going to give it a sort of a superficial scrape because we're having some like commercial vinyl put down, which is only 2mm thick. So I do want the floor to be as smooth as possible, but that was yeah, a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I need to get this camera business right because I can't be making it look like this is an easy gig. I need a bit of drama going on, make it look like I'm working hard. So yeah, I'm learning, I'm getting there, but I'm enjoying myself as well. I've done this before in the past, like built a business from scratch, and again, in the past, didn't have much money, so I had to do it all myself. And yeah, that was like 12, 13 years ago, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's good. So next thing is tomorrow, I think I'm going to come back and crack on with the walls, maybe clean the floor up a little bit, but get all the walls fixed, patch up all the holes and get it all painted. And yeah, so I'm going to go get something to eat. I'll see you tomorrow. Day 2, and I brought with me the most important tool, which I've forgotten so far. This has been a severe hindrance to my productivity here, and now that I've rectified it, I should be able to stick around for a bit longer and get a bit more work done. Right folks, so like I say, day 2 of the refurb today. So I'm back here by myself again. It's a Sunday, nice and quiet in the mall, nice peaceful feeling, which I'm hoping is going to be a good influence on me, because I have a tendency to see my arse with finicky jobs, and today is going to be a finicky job. So I'm not sure how long I've got, even though we've got the lease on this place, we haven't got 24-hour access to it. So I think when the mall closes, I've got to leave as well, which is about 6 o'clock, so about 4 hours from now. So ideally, the two things I've got to get done today are the walls are absolutely peppered with old like screw holes and roll plugs and stuff from where the shelving used to be. In fact, let me just see if I can show you. So I've been around and counted all these. I won't bother showing you them all, not very interesting, but there is in total 151 screw holes in the wall, and a lot of them have still got the little plastic wall plugs in them, so they're going to need pulling out, and then I've got to put polyfiller in all of them and then sand them over, get it nice and smooth. Then I've got to crack on with the painting. I'm hoping, because we've gone for a similar colour as what's already down, that we'll get away with just doing one coat. So, you know, first I've got to go around and do all the edging and then get the roller on it and fill in the middle. I'd like to think I can get that all done today, but in 4 hours sounds a bit ambitious. But yeah, let's not stand on ceremony, let's crack on, see how we get on. Right, so that little 8-second clip you've just seen then, the time lapse, represents about 45-50 minutes work. So in almost an hour, all I've managed to get done is fill in the screw holes on one half of that wall and then pull out the roll plugs, wall plugs, whatever they're called, on the other half of it. And I've still got 2 walls to go. And the other thing, which has been a bit of a pain in the ass, is, hang on. So I was a bit lazy. I ended up getting this sort of instant polyfiller instead of mixing my own. Quick drying, it says there. I'll tell you what, it's so bleeding quick drying that as soon as I took the lid off, it was 50% of the way there, because this is a bleeding nightmare to squeeze out. This is what was taking up a decent proportion at the time is just squeezing this crap out of here. But what they say, a good workman never blames his tools or something like that. Well, I'm not a good workman, I'm blaming my tools. Anyway, let's crack on. I think I'm going to be here for longer than I expected. Right, so that's that job done. I'm just stopping now, getting something to eat, worked up an appetite and all that. I think the time-lapse camera ran out just towards the end there, but you didn't miss much. We get the picture. I was putting polyfiller in little screw holes and that, and it took me about 2 hours in total, but it's done now. Bit tedious, bit boring, not the most exciting task to get done, but it's done. 150, whatever it was, 153 holes filled. Anyway, so yeah, the next thing to do is the painting. So I think, so the mall's closed up now, and I think the security staff stick around for about another 3 hours. So I've got about 3 hours to crack on. I'm not sure how realistic that is, because I've got to do all the edging first, and then fill in the middle with a roller. So let's say, I'm gonna get something to eat, and then we'll crack on doing that. So this is taking way longer than I thought it was going to. I think we've been here about 4 hours now or something like that, and you know, in summary, I've pulled some wall plugs out, I filled the holes up with some polyfiller, and I've painted around the edges of one wall. So I've got to say as well, I'm a bit sort of disappointed with it's not having the sort of dramatic transformative effect I was hoping it would. I mean, to be fair, I've only done the edges, but the contrast between the two colours just doesn't make for a very dramatic change, and that's because, so if you can see, yeah, it was like a cream colour before, and we've just gone for magnolia, because magnolia is the cheapest paint you can get in any sort of quantity. We're on a super low budget. I don't know if you can see there as well, it looks like it's going on a bit patchy as well, which means potentially that we're going to have to do 2 coats, and that's really depressing. So I'm estimating now, I mean, if it's taken, say it's taken about an hour just to do the edges, it's going to be an hour on that wall, half an hour on that wall, that's an hour and a half just for the edges, and then I've got to do that twice. That's 3 hours, 5 hours including that one, 4 hours, and then I've got to paint the middle of it, which is, say, another 4 hours or something like that. So I've got another 8 hours of work ahead of me, which, to be honest, I wish I could just sort of stay all night and crack on with it, but I'm going to get booted out by the security staff soon. So yeah, a bit underwhelming today. What time is it? I've got about an hour to carry on. Like I say, I was hoping this was going to make for a bit more of a dramatic transformation, but I keep checking the time lapse footage back and it just looks crap, to be honest. But like I say, we had to go with cheap. Had to go with the cheap colour. It has darkened it a little bit, which it's going to need it in here, because we've got these sort of, I don't know what are they, like halogen tube lighting, like you get in an office. It's dead stark and dead white. So I'm hoping, yeah, these walls are gonna sort of dampen that down a bit. And yeah, I'm doing good, like budget wise, because that tin of paint, I think that will do all of it, even if we need 2 coats. So that was like 18 quid for the paint. I only used 1 Stanley knife blade yesterday doing the carpet, which I'm quite chuffed with. And what else have I been a skinflint with? Well, there was something else, I can't remember now. I'm sure I'll remember later. But anyway, let's say, I'm sorry this isn't more sort of
Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen transformation extravaganza, but it is what it is. Like I keep saying, let's crack on like I can do anything else. Right folks, there we go, that's all the painting done. So it might look from those, the time-lapse footage, that was all done on the same day, because I'm wearing the same clothes in each shot, but no, it's taken like several days. I'm wearing the same clothes because this is my decorating outfit, so when I come to the unit, come to the shop, I get changed into these clothes every time, and so no, it took about 3 days in total. There's all the different interruptions in the meantime. Had to go home for various things, couldn't stick around at the shop and get it all done in one session. So I don't know how many hours in total, maybe something like 6 or 7 hours in total, which sounds ridiculous to just, essentially it was just doing the edges, filling in these little old screw holes, although there was like 150 odd of them, with polyfiller, sanding them down, and then just whacking some paint on. It's a bit tricky in some bits, like these bits towards the ceiling, bits around the door, stuff like that. They were a bit tricky. I had to sort of paint them with a brush by hand, and it looks okay. It wasn't, I think I might have said this before in a previous clip, it's not been the sort of dramatic transformation that I would have liked it to have been, because we've basically just gone from a sort of a light cream colour to magnolia, so it's a little bit darker. We could, in all honesty, ideally do with slapping a second coat on it just to darken it up even more, but honestly I haven't got the patience for one, and we haven't got the time either. So the next thing to do is to crack on getting the flooring done. So we've got flooring's actually been delivered today, putting some commercial vinyl down, and the guy's coming next week to help us with that, and there's still some stuff needs doing here to get the floor perfectly flat. So I don't know if you can see, we've got these patches on the floor that have needed to be filled in, so I haven't done them, they were done previously, but since I've dragged the carpet up, it's created a few more. So yeah, that's the next thing on the agenda. I don't really know what to do. I feel this is dead alien, this whole vlogging thing to me. I don't know if I'm telling the story well enough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put the clips together well enough, or whether this is even going to be particularly interesting. I guess I'm just sort of treating it like no one's even watching this bleeding channel at this point, I'll be honest, so this is more for me, I guess, than anything. So yeah, I think we've done the done the walls, and the floor is next, so I think we'll just do this as one episode, sort of, getting it back to a bare empty shell, and then we'll furnish it in another episode, and then stock it up in the next episode, and then maybe open in the next episode. Sort of do it thematically like that. I don't know why I'm brainstorming with you here, having a business meeting. I'm supposed to be in charge, I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, be in charge of all this, but anyway, let's that's the painting done. Let's crack on with getting the room clear, the floor flat, ready for the vinyl to go down. folks, there we go. Almost all done. So just quickly show you what I've done. Again, I know it isn't all very interesting or anything, but feels good. For the past couple of years, I've been doing desk work, really, working behind a computer, whether that's to do with doing the podcast that I do, or the podcast not related to the foundation, involvement in sort of mental health studies and bits to do with universities and stuff like that. And it's fine, but I don't know, it's just not my thing really. Whereas, yeah, doing a bit of manual labour, yeah, I don't know, gives me a bit of a sense of pride. Not to get too deep or anything, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. So the only thing left to do now, and I don't even know if I'm going to have enough power left on the camera to do this, is to sort these out. So there's a few tiles dotted about that have got stains on. So what I'm going to do is, rather than repaint them, I'm going to go upstairs, get some of the tiles from upstairs, and just swap them over. I'd like to get rid of these ones as well that have got these holes in, but they've sort of been cut. They're sort of 3/4 tiles, so I'm just gonna have to grin and bear it with them. So yeah, let's crack on with that, get the tiles replaced, and then Operation Empty Shell is almost complete. Floor done, walls done, ceiling done. Go home and have a bacon butty or something to reward myself. Right. I don't know if you can see that there, but change of plan, because not one of these tiles matches one of the other ones. I would have assumed, with it being a grid system that looks symmetrical when you look up at it, I would have thought it was just all standard size grid, standard size tiles, but apparently not. Looking at these, all different heights, all different widths. Looks like they've all sort of been custom cut for each one. So rather than try swapping them around, I'm just gonna have to paint them. It's probably for the best anyway, to be honest, because I've spotted a few more up at the other side of the room that are stained, but they've also got smoke alarms installed in them, so I couldn't remove them and swap them around even if I wanted to. So yeah, it's going to be a paint job. Only problem is I haven't got any paint. Well, I've got the paint that I did the walls with, but that's Magnolia, and looking at these, I need some standard white paint. So I think that's it for today. It's been a good one, it's been productive. I didn't quite get finished, but yeah, gonna come back tomorrow or the day after, get these tiles painted, and then the only thing left to do for this episode, this instalment, is to get the flooring down. So frustrating, but I'll see you tomorrow. A bit far. There we go. Right folks, update time. So I've sort of fallen off the wagon this week with the whole vlogging thing. So basically, I don't know where I'm up to now. I don't know if I'm going to be repeating myself here. I'm going to have a hell of a time putting all this together in editing and what have you. But basically, I got ill last week, about a week and a half ago. And I don't know what it was. I don't think it was corona. Sort of dizzy and tired, fatigued. Felt sick. Just felt out of sorts. And I just wasn't in the mood for doing any chitty chatting to a camera and directing and getting shots and trying to think of a storyline and all that crap. So all I did is I've come in, I've stuck the camera in a corner, time-lapse footage, got a bit of this and that done, and I thought I'll deal with it later. So this is me dealing with it. So, oh, and I probably better add as well, I've not been spreading anything about. So just in case it was corona, which would be a bit weird because there was nothing chesty going on. But all I do is I jump in the car by myself at home, I drive here from the car park to the unit, don't encounter anybody, come in here, work by myself, and then just, yeah, do the same in reverse and bugger off home. So I've not been spreading anything about. But because I've been ill as well as not being asked getting any filming done, I haven't got very much work done either. Not as much as I'd like, really. Because all I've been able to do really is I come in, I do an hour or two, and then I needed to go sort of sleep it off for an hour or three in the back, in fact, office. Let me show you what I've been. If it's too dark, oh, it's okay. So yeah, this has been my bed for the past week. 3, 4, bleeding hell, I can't even count. 4 chairs, dining chairs stuck together, and then some mouldy, stinky blankets that we used to move some furniture up from London in the van, which was fun. Although they did keep me warm, which is the main thing, because it is freezing in that back room. So, what have I got done so far? So the banisters, I think I'll throw a picture up now. We'll see. I've got the editing skills. There was like this garish gloss navy blue that was on the banisters and the door frames upstairs, and I'm probably being a bit pedantic changing that because the customers, they're only coming up here to use the toilets or to go in the consultation rooms at the back. It's not like they're going to stop and get all Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen and start critiquing the decor. But every time I saw it, it just annoyed me. So I was like, right, I'm going to get that done. So that took about a banister, 1, 2, 3, 4 door frames. It's taken me like 3 days because it's been 2 coats. I had to put 2 coats of white paint on to cover the navy blue, and then I'm going to have to put 2 coats of the grey on that we've bought as well to cover the white. Otherwise the navy blue would have come through the grey. So that's been a pain in the arse, and I've had to take all the doors off as well, these fire doors that weigh an absolute ton. And then, I've replaced the ceiling tiles as well downstairs that had that staining on from when there was some sort of leak from upstairs. So I tried doing it on the cheap. I've tried doing everything on the cheap so far, and I've been quite proud of myself. So far I've used 1 Stanley knife blade to cut all the carpets up downstairs. And I've used 1 tub of magnolia that cost like a tenner to paint the entire downstairs. And what else was there? There's something else I've done on the cheap as well. I don't know. I've done this banister on the cheap, this undercoating. I found an old tin of paint that's been in our shed for honestly about 10 years. And gave that a shake. It's been fine. I had to pick loads of bits out of it and stuff, but it's done the job. And so I wanted to do the tiles on the cheap as well. Didn't want to buy any new, so I tried painting them. That didn't work because the tiles are like a sponge. It just sort of soaked it up, and the stain came right back through. So then the second thing I tried was sealing it with PVA glue, and then painting on top of that. And I don't know why that didn't work either. I got a nice decent coat on the top of it that, you know, felt like it wasn't porous anymore. Painted over it, the stain came right back through again. So it's like, right, bollocks to it. So instead I just went the easy route, came upstairs, stole some clean tiles from this back office and replaced them with the ones downstairs. And I think I was panicking at one point that all the tiles were different sizes, and it's because they were all around the edges. They were edging tiles, so they'd been sort of custom cut. So the way I managed to figure that out was just get the old tiles down, lay them on top of the new tiles, cut them to size, and fling them up there. And that's worked. It looks great. And there's one left now downstairs that's got a stain on it, but it's also got like a fire alarm in it, and so I can't be bothered. I know I can't paint it, and I can't be bothered trying to replace it, messing about with electrics and stuff like that. But luckily that one's at the front of the shop. That'll be in the retail section. The reason I wanted to sort out the tiles at the back of the shop, that's like the cafe section where people are eating food and stuff, and I just think it's a bit manky that you look up and see this god-awful brown stain on the ceiling while you're eating. I didn't think it was very sanitary. So anyway, I think that's about it. as far as what's happened in the last week. It's not been very eventful because I've slept most of it. So I think the only thing left to do now, really, apart from, you know, get this top coat of paint and the doors put back on, is to get the flooring installed downstairs, which I think that might have been the last thing I filmed before I got sick, was me clearing the downstairs ready for the flooring. And I think you might have seen as well, we had it delivered, it was ready to be put down. The reason I haven't put it down is it's commercial grade vinyl that sort of needs welding at the joins, and I haven't got a clue how to do that. So we've got a guy coming tomorrow from the company who's going to help us install it. And then once the flooring's down, I think stage 1 of the refurb is done. We've got an empty shell, and then we just need to, stage 2 will be kitting it out with all the furniture. Stage 3 will be stocking it up with all the food and the merchandise, and then we'll be ready for opening, which will be maybe in about 2 weeks, I think. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you tomorrow to get the flooring installed. Right folks, so today's the day. The flooring is going down finally. The reason I say today's the day, like it's a big day, it is a big day, is because the flooring is like the final piece of the puzzle with getting this place back to a sort of clean slate. And once the flooring goes down, stage 1 is complete, and then we can just sort of fling all the furniture in. And whereas all this prep work with the walls and the floors and the painting and stuff upstairs and the cleaning up has taken a few weeks to do, as soon as the flooring goes down, we can probably get all the furniture put in within a day. So this place is going to be completely transformed from, you know, what you see now into an almost ready cafe and retail space, probably in the space of like 24-48 hours. So yeah, I'm quite excited about it. So the only thing with it is I can't put the flooring down myself, so we've got some commercial vinyl, which I might have already told you all this, but it needs sort of welding at the joins, which is a bit of a specialist job. I haven't got a clue how to do that. So we've got somebody coming in to help us with that. So in fact, the people that have provided us with the flooring is a company called Altro Walls and Flooring. So special shout out to Richard Kahn, who's the CEO of Altro, for helping us out with this. Super nice guy. They've provided us with this stuff here. So it's like we've gone for like a nice grey neutral colour, something that'll look nice and clean. And yeah, I've got the privilege of a guy called David Gatfield who works for Altro. He's like I think like the big operations manager or something that deals with all the installations. So he's coming over from Leeds today to help us install it. So yeah, it's a good day today. I'm feeling optimistic. So just waiting for David to get here. I'm going to do a bit of sweeping up and vacuuming, get the floor nice and super clean, because I don't want any dust or like grit under the flooring, so it's like crunching when you're walking over it. I want it to go down perfectly. So I'm going to get that final bit of prep work done, and when David gets here, I'll introduce him, and then we'll crack on with getting it installed. Right folks, so time to crack on. David's here. This is David Gatfield from Altro. I think I misintroduced you before as the operations manager, but you're technical services manager. So
Dispatch.
yes, so if you wouldn't mind just quickly telling us what it is we're doing today, because I thought we were going to get this done in a couple of hours. Apparently not. So
It'll take a little bit longer than a couple of hours if we're doing it properly, of course, which means cleaning and scraping and backing the floor, which you've already done, so we had it again there. But then it's a commercial grade floor cover. It's going to be seamed properly and overlapped and cut in around the edges and then hot welded together, so the whole area becomes one integral piece of vinyl. The fact that it's virtually loose lace on double-sided tapes means that the fitting and the welding and the sealing to the outside is going to be to a very high standard, because you're not relying on any adhesive to hold it together. But it's a fabulous system that we're really hopeful will be great in this area.
yeah, and it's going to be the first thing that we're doing that actually involves a professional, so that makes a nice change. So anyway, I'm just going to stick the camera in the corner now, and we're going to crack on, get it on time lapse, and just see how we get on for the day. Right folks, it's 10 to 4 and we actually managed to get it all done. Look at this. Brand new, clean, seamless, beautiful floor. Seems a shame to have to go and put some furniture on it now, but that's the next step. So yeah, in the meantime, just have to say a massive thank you to Richard Khan at Altro for supplying us with the flooring. Massive, even bigger thank you maybe to David Gatfield for helping us out. And it might look on the time lapse like I was doing a lot of standing around, but like David said before, part of the skill of being an apprentice is knowing when not to get in the way. So
yeah, I couldn't put it better myself.
So yeah, thank you David. It's
a pleasure. I really enjoyed it, and I hope your cafe is a great success for everything you've set out for it to be.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a pleasure to be involved. Thanks, man.
So there we go. That is officially, after what, 3-4 weeks, stage 1 complete. We can crack on with stage 2, start bringing the furniture in, and but I think what I'm going to do in the meantime, I'm going to go home. I've been stressing these past few weeks. I'm going to go home and get some sleep and relax finally, because it's a bit more bright and breezy and easy from here on out. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.